you have any. No one has any questions? There are 13 of you. And well, there's Aishwarya and I. No questions? Can you all hear me well?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you, Branjali. Okay, Aishwarya. So, nobody has any questions? Week 12 content is released for you already, right?
Yes, ma'am. Release.
Okay. Okay. I see a question in the chat from Vishisht. Get it? We plan to rendezvous and then sneak out to the beach. Here, rendezvous means that rendezvous, if I can read, you can finish this quickly. Melancholy day brings us. It should be the second one, no? Vishesh, what's the answer? Is that a part of a question somewhere?
Ma'am, can you repeat it again?
Was there a question somewhere? I think it should be the second one.
Yeah, ma'am. How, ma'am? I didn't understand why the trend is meet up at an
Rendezvous
angle.
is a French term, Vishesh. Okay, French term in the sense it was borrowed into English. You will find a lot of words like that in English which are of foreign origin. You have French influence, Latin influence, Greek influence, Scandinavian influence. These days also, you'll see also influences from specific countries. Like you'll also find a lot of Indian words also as part of English. So this rendezvous is a French term for meet up, small chit chats. The word used there. There used to be a show earlier. I don't know if you have
Okay.
seen that, right? This person called Simi Garewal. She used to run this interview. It was rendezvous with Simi Garewal. Basically means meet up. And small, an informal talk or interview sort of it.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Fine. Any other questions? Are there no more questions or are you thinking what to ask? Either way it is okay. Can think about anything that is unclear to you, or if you have any specific questions, you can ask about them as well. Yeah, no questions, others? Yes, sir will join in. I do not know when he will come in, but he could be late too. You don't have to hold up your questions if you have any. Go ahead and ask them. We'll see if we can clarify. If not, then we'll definitely take it to them and they can answer. Okay, Shanti, Preetam, then Krishna, Saurav, Amina, Nimish, Tanu, you guys have no questions? Deepam, Aruni, Ashish, Padmaja, Nikhil, Ravikant, Ayush, Alaka, right? Abinash, Pratyusha, Deepak, Shrestha, you guys have no questions? No clarifications, no? Okay. Others also, right? Uh, no doubts or clarifications required from week 9 to 12. You have quizzes till 8, right? Week 8. So anything after that? Or maybe anything, anything from the syllabus generally. It needn't have to be after week 9.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Shahid here.
Yeah, Shahid. Hi, Shahid.
Ma'am, I have a doubt regarding the quiz 2. There was one question.
Yeah, you can ask. Let's see if we can fix it for you. What is the question?
Ma'am, the question was, in one of the question was, could is not the past form of can.
Oh, okay. This one, I think this had come to us for a review. Aishwarya, did we fix it? What did we do finally about that? Could is not the past form of can when it is treated as a modal verb, that's for sure. Can and could are two different models. When you discuss this as a modal verb, you don't treat could as the past form of can. Could is the past form of can, but in other usages, not when it is just a modal verb. That is for sure. There is no, there is no other addition to that part. That is clear.
Yes, ma'am. If it is used as a model.
When it is used as a modal verb, no, it cannot be used as the past tense. So you have 9 modal verbs. So same way, like could is not the past tense of can, would is not the past tense of will, might is not the past tense of may. Okay, all of them are 9 different modal verbs and they have their own usages. Sometimes there is also an overlap between sometimes there is also an overlap between the functions, like by which I mean that more than one models can be used to represent the same function. But could can be past form in some other case. I do not know. Maybe we'll need more discussion on that. But as modal verbs, no, definitely they are two separate modal verbs.
Ma'am, in question there was no context given. Simply the question is could is not the past form of can, or asking for true or false.
But could discussed in any other format for you in the whole lecture? Questions usually come from within the context. So ideally, you should have treated it as a question on model work. But okay, we'll maybe have a discussion with the professor and let you okay what happens. I mean, I would take it that way since the lectures given to me were in model works and it was mostly introduced to me as a model work, right? Isn't that true, Shahid?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Both context in lecture. Which was the other context, Arpan? So then you know the answer. It was that context, and you tell me what was that.
Pardon me, ma'am.
No, I'm asking Arpan. Arpan has said both contexts in lecture. I guess what he's saying is both context was discussed in the lecture. So, which is that, if you can tell me specifically what part is, then maybe we can look at it. What I understood is that it was discussed within the ambit of the model work. So ideally, if I were taking the exam, I would have definitely looked at it that way. Okay, let's see. We'll have a discussion about this. We'll talk to sir and then let you know about more details about this. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Best workbook resources for English. I'll come to you, Pranjali, in 1 minute. I think I have another question from Vishesh, which I'll look at it first. Your arguments are persuasive as they do not convince me. What's the answer? Yet, no?
Yes, ma'am. But we can use
It's a
moreover, right?
contrast. No.
Yeah, ma'am.
See, yet and moreover. Why? Because yet is a contrast word. The answer that is required here is a contrast word and not a word that continues in the direction of argument. Because look at the example. Your arguments are persuasive. Persuasive means something that you know makes somebody take a suitable action. Okay, something that calls for action. Okay,
Oh,
something that can convince you to take an yeah. In some sense, also it means convince, right? But look at the second part of it. Dash, they do not convince me. It means it is persuasive enough, okay, but they do not convince me. First part of the sentence and the second part of the sentence are in contrast to each other. See this?
yes, ma'am. But where we'll
Ah.
use this moreover statement, ma'am?
Moreover, is when you want to continue, when you want to add more things to what you have already said, right? So if I can say something like your what is that? Your arguments are persuasive. Moreover, they are quite erudite. Okay, erudite means up to the mark. Very
Oh, when
well
we more
formulated, well
clarify
articulated.
it, then we should use moreover.
Clarification, or you want to say give some additional comments to what you have already been saying, right? Basically, when you want to continue in the same direction. In this
Okay, ma'am.
sentence, what happens? You are taking a different turn. So one sentence is talking about one part, and the rest of the part of the sentence is in opposition to the first part. So that is a
Yeah, yeah.
contrast. And yet will be used. Yet is a contrast word, which is why yet is the answer. Moreover, is
Oh,
when you want to add more things to that is already said, like the word suggests. When you want to make additional comments, when you want to say something that's up that you have already said, essentially continuing in the same direction, then you use words like moreover, additionally, in addition to, furthermore. All of them are used there. Okay, as
okay,
linking
ma'am.
words.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Uh, could you please on where to use many and where to use several? I several and many, right? What is the major difference? I do not think there is any great difference between any of these. But if there are many factors, there are several factors. Both are countable. They should be used only with countable nouns. That is something that I can tell you. Okay. Both many and several are used with count nouns or countable nouns. Means you should count the entity. But besides that, I don't think so. There is any specific difference between them. It's not something that I know of. They refer to the same things. I don't think there is any.
Ma'am, actually, this is from quiz 2. There are two questions. There is a question called the allocation of education expenditure by sector is quite uneven in dash countries, and here the option given were many, seldom, and several, and correct option was many here. And another question is this extends the length of investigation, which can take dash months or years to complete. And here option selected is several.
Okay. Can you give me the questions? I think.
Yeah, sure. I'll just copy them.
Right. This the allocation of education expenditure is quite uneven in countries. This extends the length of investigation, which can take months or years to complete. Okay. Hmm. So usually, I think both are used with countable nouns, that's for sure. But I think several, if I'm to guess from the context that you have given me, I admit that I do not know what the exact difference is, but from what you tell me, I think it is several is then, in the first case, it is not very clear. So, there is no context to guess the number of plays. So many is used as a more generic term to refer to a large number of countries, say large number of countries. Then the second one can take months or years to complete. It has gotten a little more specific here. Probably that is the reason. Okay. But yeah, I don't think I know it exactly. I'll see. Can you post this question in the forum or somewhere? This
Sure,
is
ma'am. Sure.
Avinash, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll give you a detailed explanation on this. I
Okay.
can answer this from the context, but that's because I am used to saying sentences like this. But if you need an explanation, I think I'll have to think and write down one. Okay.
Ma'am, I didn't know the correct answer. I mean,
Huh.
I heard many
No,
countries,
I
that's
know the answers. Like I can fill in the right answer here. I could do that. But if you
yeah,
ask me the exact difference and explanation, I think it's better that we do it on the forum.
sure, sure.
Also, I do not know it exactly at this point. What I think is one is used for a more generic purpose and the other is used for a more specific one. But
Okay.
uh, I'm sure it can have more explanations. Okay, let's see what.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll also make a note of it. Yeah, somebody else had asked the question. I'm sorry, I think I missed out on that. I think it was Pranjali, right? Was it Pranjali? Huh. Best workbook resources for English 2. Aren't these, Pranjali, is this not enough? Do you want more to learn from this? I think the videos themselves speak a lot of things. What do you mean by workbook? What exactly are you looking for in a workbook?
Yes, ma'am. I was looking
Are they
for,
practice questions or explanations? What do you want?
yes, ma'am, practice questions because I was trying to work on like clauses and subject to predicate. Like I'm having a bit of difficulty in those, so I wanted to practice those. That's why I wanted some practice questions. So if you, I was looking for workbook resources.
The problem with suggesting workbooks to you is that these workbooks are not designed the way we have constructed course. Okay. So what we intend to teach you mostly is functional grammar and it has elements of other theories, which generally the books in grammars won't take up. Okay. At least I haven't seen anything. So I think if you can, how about those sessions we have in Learn the Rope? Those questions, aren't they enough to work out? Or if that is not enough, I think rather than looking at a book per se, it would be better that you go to certain sites online. There are plenty of them. You can figure in there a lot of examples too. I mean, they have practice workout worksheets to practice on. You can actually look at some of them. They are quite handy and helpful. If you're looking specifically for subject verb agreement and all, they have a lot of it. Workbook, I do not know if I hold the authority to suggest it. I will, I'll consult with the team and let you know. I don't think it would be a good thing to give it to you right away. What I mean is I need consultation before I do that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. When I said workbook, I definitely was thinking of online worksheets as well. So thank you
Yeah,
for
sure. So this internet sources are actually really good. All you have to be careful about is that, the chances of error are quite high in the internet sources. So the problem is you really cannot confirm or clarify with anyone whether the answer is correct or not. So make sure that you have the theory backup from what you have heard in the lectures, and you can implement them into the worksheets that you practice. If you think it does not fit in the answers that they suggest, or the answers that you are trying to give them based on what you've learned, then you can bring those questions to us. Okay, we can work on it together and give you an exam. Give you the answer. Okay, I think it works that way. It would be a better way to go after books than this, because books will take a very different turn. Their questions would be based on the kind of explanations they have in. It does not mean that it is very different from what we say. But if you are practicing it particularly from the point of view of exam, I think this should be a better way to do it.
Yes, ma'am. I was actually practicing it from the point of view for the English to exam, but
Exam,
also
right?
the GRE.
So you can continue doing it with the internet resources, and if you're stuck or confused somewhere, you can get those sentences down here. We can look at it.
Yes, ma'am. I'm also practicing it for the GRE, so I will definitely try.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Anyone else?
Ma'am, do we have a revision session?
Nothing as of now that we have planned. No, I have no information about it. I don't think we have had any questions about it. Yeah, I have no information as of now.
No, I think it will be better if we have a session or lecture, recorded lecture with some of the whole content of the course.
I'll convey to the team. Let's see what they have on mind and what they decide.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. This question was in many and several. No? Abinash, right? Abinash, was this a part of any lecture? Just checking in with you so that.
Yeah, ma'am.
Was this a part of any of the lecture? Did you find these questions, or say words like many and several and all in the?
This is from quiz 2.
I know this is from quiz 2. I'm just trying to understand which part of the lecture or the module was this from. Maybe that can help me answer it. Anyway, I have made a note of it, trying to see where this comes from.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
If you know, if you're aware, you can let me know. Otherwise, fine, that's all right.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. If I remember it now, I'll post it in the chat.
Is there any other way by which one can know the origin of word except dictionary? What other way? What do you mean by any other way? Usually we depend on these only, right? Not dictionary. There are books on etymology, like that field that studies the origin of words and all is referred to as etymology, right? You might have heard this etymology of a word. But that is again a book. Okay, somebody would have compiled that into something and excuse me. Yeah, someone would have compiled a book or a dictionary like document on that, a ledger to look at. What other way by which we can know the origin of the word? What are you looking at? Are you looking at some innovative ways of doing it, or do you generally mean are there any other sources, book sources besides dictionary?
No, actually, ma'am, the reason for asking the question is that because, for example, some unknown word is there. So whether it is from which origin, what is the source of the origin of the word? Without looking into dictionary, I can just by some intuition or by guesswork, I can know it or not. That is why I have asked this question.
You are referring to vocabulary, right?
Yes,
So, it's a one-time process that you learn. You look at these etymology of the word and try and understand the vocabulary. While that is a good method, I will not say no. I'm not going to dissent on that. That's right. If you know the stem and the root and the meanings clearly, it helps you guess the meaning of the word. But this also depends on how much of it you can remember, right? Some of them are very common. They're very commonly used in our day-to-day lives, or they're there all everywhere. The frequency of their usage is quite high. So those words, it's easy for you, but then there are those rare ones which you can find, say, in one of those specialized articles, or say by a certain kind of author, right? The drill here, if your idea is to improve vocabulary, the drill here is to only acquaint yourself with it. So sometimes you might know the roots and the stem and the origin and everything, yet you won't be able to use that word in it. Okay? Or even if after having finished all that dictionary or whatever source you have, next time you see that word in the sentence, you may not be actually able to identify what it means. So the only thing that that can get you easy with this is practice. Okay. But etymology, I don't think there is any other way of knowing the origin. You will have to depend on one of these book sources. That's the better way to do it.
Lida, what is the question about? Can I help you with that?
Sir, the question is there any other way by which one can know the origin of word besides dictionary?
No, but why? Whose question is that?
This is Ravikant.
Ravikant, can you turn your mic on?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What? Say it again. The question. What is the purpose of knowing the origin of the word?
Actually, I could not recall when I was watching one show where the contestant has asked for the origin of the word by which he can explain, he can judge that what is the meaning of that word can be. So
I think you're talking about some show, right?
yes, sir. Actually, I could not recall exactly which show it was. It was much means what I can say that it was in there in my memory that some kind of this show was there where the contestant has asked for the origin of the word, and I'm just wondering that how a person can know the meaning of a word if he knows the origin of that word.
There is no connection between the two.
Okay.
And the purpose of a course like this is not to work on origin of words. There is a domain of learning called historical linguistics where people work on through using reconstruction method on the origin of words. Here, about if your question relates to understanding meaning of the words, that happens through context. And approach in learning words, that is working on vocabulary, is not necessarily always with a list of words. So basic answer to the question, as I have been discussing several times, is to enhance your reading. The more you work on your reading, the better your vocabulary becomes. There is no guarantee that if you memorize 10 words every day, at the end of the 10th day, you have 100 words. That's not how language and words work for the purpose of learning. And
Yes,
as far as the origin of words is concerned, that is absolutely not necessary for understanding the meaning of words in a language class. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Actually, I'm completely agree with you that if you go on reading, your vocabulary is going to definitely increase.
And that not only increases your vocabulary, but it also tells you about understanding context, and different context requires different words.
Yes, sir. Sir, one quick question I want to ask. Although you explained the meanings of metaphor and idiom in the lecture, so if a question comes in an exam to whether it's a metaphor or idiom, then what, in which way I can judge that sentence? Because sometimes it is also possible that that sentence might be not having any metaphor or idiom also.
See, the answer to this question is, when we have discussed 10 metaphors, we expect you to work on another 20 or 30 or 100 additionally. Okay.
Yes.
And when you look at those additional 100 uses of different metaphors, that will build the context for you, where you can pick which one is metaphor, which one is not, and how to use them. Okay, this is called reverse process, reverse of vocabulary. And a combination of this process builds the words, word stock. And like I said, there is no method or list available after going through which you will have a lot of words. Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do we have more questions, guys? Yes, guys, go ahead if we have more questions.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Pratyusha.
Sir, there was a thread in the discourse form where there was a question, there was a doubt raised by somebody. It states that the sentence is, it depends on blank, if I get home early or not. And the options were whether, if, both whether and if. So I know that if is not the correct answer here. It is whether, but like the explanations given by the people were whether is the most preferred option here. So I wanted to know, other than this whether is the most preferred option here, I wanted to know how can it be explained better? Like, why is whether the correct answer there?
Why whether is correct answer?
Yeah.
And what is the sentence? Can you one more time tell me, please?
I'm just typing it in the chat box, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You have done that. Okay. It depends on whether I get. So you want to know why weather comes here?
Yeah, I want to know a more like a more suitable explanation than whether is the
Right
possible answer here. Yeah, whether is the suitable answer here.
See, In this sentence, see what is the object of this verb depend?
Home.
No. Look at the sentence carefully. What is the object of the verb depend? The reason why I'm asking you this question,
Early?
Patricia,
Is it early, sir?
no. Then you need to look at the object. What is an object? So your question is very good, but to answer that question, you will need to know about these things. Okay. See,
Okay.
the object of the verb depend is the whole sentence.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and that sentence can in a sentence like this can only begin with a sentence which begins with whether.
Okay.
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 That is called the WH word, and and there is a reason. What is if? If is if it's conditional.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
So
sir.
a conditional sentence cannot be the object of this verb.
Yeah.
Okay, it can only be a sentence which allows alternatives. Therefore, the object is a verb, a sentence which begins with WH. That is whether. However, that's the answer to your question. I would suggest you to understand a little bit more about predicate, object, and the types of object. I do understand that particular specific types of WH sentences we have not introduced in this course so far. Okay, so that will definitely help little more. People have not asked us this question so far, but if you look at predicate and object, then your answer will become clearer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And please look at this sentence further and come. If you find counter examples, do come back to us. Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Week is this? Which week is this, Lida? For us?
This is the 12th, sir. The content for 12th week is released.
Is this the last week?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, guys. There are a lot of people, but I see mostly people quiet. There are 45 people and they are all quiet, except few speaking. Are you guys here? Sometimes I feel like, are you guys here? So.
Yes, over here.
Oh, no, I heard you speak, Pranjali. People like Alka, Deepam, Aruni, are these people here? I've never heard these people speak. Vasist, no question? Tanu?
Clarified, sir.
Oh, you have already clarified with Lida. Good.
Yes, sir.
So these people are not here. Aruni, Deepam, Alka, Deepak. No, I think these people are not here.
Yes, sir, I am here.
You are here. No questions. Who was that? Oh, Deepam is also here. Ravikant is fine. Okay, good. So, Deepam, Naveen, Chaudhary, no questions, guys? Ashvik, Bharati, Arshad, Rahul. Hmm? Okay. So, Lida, shall we conclude then? Here?
Yes, sir. Sure. We can.
Arpan Srivastav, Rishabh Singh, Shayanti Das, Saurav Sarma, no? There are a few names that I can see on my Pallavi. Vinay Kumar, Charles, Arti. Okay. No, I know many of you are here. I'm not checking attendance. I'm only asking. I see I don't find these people speaking. Hence I am. And since it's your last week, we will be coming. We have Python exam. We want to revise. What is that tomorrow? We want to revise English. Okay.
Sir, can I ask one thing?
Sure.
Sir, you have said in Lingo, that is institution language. So, is it fine to use that language in case of the written piece?
It's fine, but it depends on context. If it is, you can use that only if it is informal context.
Okay.
Not in the
because while reading through some of the books, I found out that these words are even used in the book also, some novels also. So that is
Yes,
why
the
I'm
purpose
asked
is, Ravikant, the purpose is defined in the novel, why they are using that. So that makes it formal. So I'm telling you as a rule, we see what is Instilingo. It's an informal way of informal code between members of a particular community. And if they are and members of a particular community express things with each other in a very informal way. So if the context is informal, you can definitely use that, but not in the formal context.
Okay, sir, but sometimes I do find the new media acronym RIP in many of such contexts also. Because when we give some condolence message, in that we generally use the word RIP.
No, that is you see that in social media and etc. And such acronyms are, I mean, basically that's not a formal way of expressing condolence.
Okay, sir. So in short, I can take from it that in case of formal communications, we should refrain from using the Instilingo. Whereas in case of informal, it's fine. That is because
Yeah, absolutely. That's the basic rule of the thumb. Yes.
okay, sir.
Okay, guys, if you guys don't have more questions, then we see you next week.
Sir, there was one suggestion from my dear friend that can we have the revision session for English too?
We are doing revisions. You ask us questions, we will do it. What, by revision, you mean that you stay quiet and we keep talking? Is that what you mean?
Not exactly, sir.
So ask me a question. We will answer that question. What do you mean by revision? Tell me.
Sir, there are some corner conditions in the uses of certain words which are discussed in the Landorov session. But after going through the 12 weeks, when I'm going through any write-up material, all the concepts of 12 weeks are coming one by one. It is even the concepts of English ones are also coming. So sometimes what happens is that a person miss out some of the minute conditions. So for that is the reason I have asked that if we can have the revision session where these kind of conditions can be again recalled. That is the reason I have.
You see, for that purpose, now I understand what you mean. And therefore I asked you, what do you mean by revisions? For that purpose, what will help is your work outside the video lectures. Okay, if I ask you, how much time do you spend other than video lectures on English course? Tell me honestly.
1 hour.
And that 1 hour is mostly doing assignments and other things, right?
Assignments are away, but I do have some books reading.
No. Right. So what I am saying is, for example, if you have, like your question you asked about metaphors, my suggestion to you for that, and this suggestion is not that my suggestion is not response to the question that we will not do revisions. This is also not that, basically it's about what works. So like I told you, you need to work on metaphors. You need to read more about metaphors. And after that, you will get several questions that you can ask, which will work, which will give you better results. What you are asking us to do is to do your work, which is we come up with things to bundle it in revision that you should find. Now, even if we do that, it won't make much of a difference until you go for hands-on experience. This is called, in colloquial term, getting your hands dirty. You have to sit down with a pen and paper, with a notebook, with additional material, and work on same topic several times. Then only it will show results, not we talking more about these things, either in the recorded form or presenting PPT or some other slides here. Wherever these interventions are required, you please understand, we are making those interventions in the form of different sessions. Okay, Ravikant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, but this is only a response to your question, giving you an idea about what works. You are always welcome to ask anything and send us any feedback. Okay, guys. So we are just talking about these things. So in that context, I think we will continue with live session until you have your final exam. We'll definitely meet with you next week. So until then, have a good time. Okay, Aishwarya, can we get it terminated? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.